Good morning again, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to this Honourable House. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words in Parliament here today. And I want to first start by addressing the citizens of Antigua and Barbuda. And what I want to say, Mr. Speaker, is that when someone has a different political view than you, it does not mean that that person is your enemy. And to the good members of the United Progressive Party, when persons support the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, again, it does not mean that that person is your enemy. I say to myself, Mr. Speaker, when did we get here? When did we get like this as a country? And if it takes me standing as an independent member in this House, Mr. Speaker, to unify the people of Antigua and Barbuda, that is something I am willing to do. Country must always come first, Mr. Speaker. It must always come before any partisan politics. And togetherness is what we will need to push our country forward, Mr. Speaker. Over the past few days, it gave me an opportunity to reflect on when I was growing up, Mr. Speaker, and I think back to my grandmother, loving and helping so many persons. And she never said to them, "What was your political persuasion?" She never said, "If you're red, I'm not going to help you. If you're blue, I'm not going to help you." She helped everyone because her purpose was the love of people and the love of country. And I want to state here, the United Progressive Party that I joined 4 years ago, it is not the same United Progressive Party today. And I mean no disrespect to the supporters, because you have good members within the United Progressive Party, Mr. Speaker. So I mean no disrespect to the supporters. But the lies that are being spread in the public about me, Mr. Speaker, is not a true definition of my character. When you don't know man's story, Mr. Speaker, you should not tell it. And people must learn to understand. You should not tell a man's story, Mr. Speaker. I understand that my departure from the United Progressive Party would have hurt a few persons. I completely understand that. And when I was contemplating making this decision, Mr. Speaker, it was not about the backlash or the ridicule that I knew that I would get from certain members in the public. But in fact, what made me wonder was the hurt that I would place on some persons that I was able to build and form a bond with. But I say to those persons, Mr. Speaker, that I sincerely apologize for hurting them, Mr. Speaker, but I had to take what was the best decision in the best interest of the people of All Saints West and the people of Antigua and Barbuda. But in saying this, Mr. Speaker, it does not give reasons for the persons, the members of the opposition party to personally go after my character, to personally try to bring me down and assassinate my character, Mr. Speaker. It is wrong. And I am the same genuine, loving, caring, honest Anthony Smith that served the United Progressive Party. And honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, they're some of the hallmarks that I build myself from, Mr. Speaker. And I will continue to be who I am, and I will continue to serve the people of Antigua and Barbuda. And Mr. Speaker, I know I must not be long, so I will try to wrap it up quickly. My only two sins in the United Progressive Party was to challenge for the chairmanship and to support the honorable member of Rural West, the Honorable Richard Lewis. Those were my only two sins in the United Progressive Party, Mr. Speaker. And politics must never be about self. It must always be in the collective good of everyone. At the time, Mr. Speaker, scientific evidence showed that the nation wanted the Honorable Richard Lewis to lead the opposition party. And because I made a decision that was in the best interest of the nation, it became the biggest sin against the leadership of the United Progressive Party, Mr. Speaker. And again, I would stress, our country must always come first. And I want to say here, I want to place on the records today that their wicked plans to end my political career have failed miserably. Their wicked plans to deprive the constituents of All Saints West failed again miserably, Mr. Speaker. The people of All Saints West placed me in this honorable house to represent their best interests and the country's best interests, and that is what I will continue to do, Mr. Speaker. I entered politics, Mr. Speaker, because of the love of people. In fact, to the member, the Attorney General, I even think at this point I have a little bit more love than you. We all know the AG saying, it's about the love. So, Mr. Speaker, I also want to place on record here today that I am very thankful and grateful for the outpouring of love that I have been receiving from my constituents of All Saints West and from the people of Antigua and Barbuda. It means the world to me, Mr. Speaker. The calls, the messages, I just want them to know that it means the world to me, Mr. Speaker. Because when you traverse the constituency and you go door to door and you sit with persons, you sit on the blocks and you speak to persons, persons are not just saying to you, I'm voting just because of red and blue. Persons are saying they have real problems and they want real people to go into this honorable house and represent them. And that is what I intend to do, Mr. Speaker. And I say again to the executive, the leadership of the United Progressive Party, if you want to control and dictate to members of this house, you should go and put your hat in the ring. Go and put your hat and run for elected politics. Because I represent the people of All Saints West, Mr. Speaker. And just in closing, the Prime Minister told me about a year ago, he calls me Young Smith. He said, Young Smith, you have talent, but the party you're serving, and he said, no disrespect, they will eat you up and spit you out. They will chew you up and spit you out. And I chuckled, and I said, no, I will work to fix that. Then he chuckled and said to me, wait and see. Mr. Speaker, I waited and I saw. And I know, Mr. Speaker.
Much as you are.
Just the last thing, Mr. Speaker. Maybe 20 seconds, Mr. Speaker. In my heart, I know that I made the best decision for the people of All Saints West and the people of Antigua and Barbuda. And as an independent member in this house, Mr. Speaker, I know in good conscience I will be able to vote and advocate with a clear mind for the people of All Saints West and the people of Antigua and Barbuda, who I serve wholeheartedly if it pleases you, Mr. Speaker.